and just go ahead and proceed down the line, which means, audience, we're going to start on the left with Mr. Shaw.
Got to do sound too.
Yeah.
How much time from when I see the yellow to when I'm going to see the red? About 5 seconds? 10 seconds. 10 seconds, okay.
And I will start my time when it finishes the question.
Okay.
That way you got good time.
Good to go. Shall I go ahead? Whenever you're ready. Hey, hello, everybody. I'm Charlie Shout. I hail from the town of Esparto. It's a small farming community down in Yolo County. We've lived in the district since the 1880s. We're farmers. We farm about 3,000 acres. I went to Yuba College over here. I lived in Warren Hall back in the 1970s. I went up on the Chico State. I got 2 degrees in agriculture. And I was also students for Reagan in 1976 and again in 1980. When my president got elected, I decided to serve my country in the United States Marine Corps. But I'm more than just a Marine. I'm now retired from the Marine Corps as a Lieutenant Colonel. I'm also a former school board member, former chairman of the Yolo County Republican Party, former director of the Yolo County Taxpayers Association, and I've been in the trenches for a long time fighting for what I think you believe in, and that's honest, responsible government from both sides of the aisle. I don't like the hot, long-winded politicians telling you what they want to hear or what you want to hear rather than what you need to know. As I say, a leader will tell you the truth, but a politician will tell you what you want to hear. Folks, I will always tell you the truth. My name is Charlie Shop, and I need your help in this election. How long did I go? Good. Good deal.
About Christmas, I stopped at the cleaners. So I was going around the back of my truck. Another gentleman in a truck pulled up behind me. The healthy fellow got out. He looked at the back of my truck, and the window says, Eugene Ray for Congress. He said, what's that? I said, well, after the first year, I'll announce that I'm running for Congress. He said, what party? I said, Republican. He goes, why would you do that? I said, well, because my beliefs tend to lean that side. You know, smaller government, lower taxes, more freedom, more opportunity for the citizen. Then he said, the gap between the highest wage earners and the lowest wage earners in America is the biggest it's ever been. And I said, America didn't become the greatest nation in the history of the world by penalizing success. It became the greatest nation by creating opportunities for the middle and the lower class to move up if they wanted to work for it. He thought about it for a second. He goes, you got a card? And I said, yeah. He looked at it and goes, I didn't really care for that guarantee much anyhow. My name is Eugene Ray. I'm from Vacaville. I've been in real estate down there for about 35 years. I'm an 8th degree black belt. I was a world karate champion. When I saw drugs and gangs coming into our area, I started a program out of the church where I go into the at-risk areas and offer the kids free lessons if they stay out of trouble, stay out of fights, keep their grades up. New grades were going to be an issue, so I brought in people from the private sector to tutor them. And I watched kids go from D's and F to A's and B's in 30 days. And for the Latin families, I brought in somebody to teach English classes so they keep better track of their kids and they could get better jobs. Thank you very much for inviting me.
I didn't yield any of my time to him, just so we're clear. First off, I want to apologize for my voice. I am fighting that horrible bug that's going around, so I will talk as loud as I possibly can. First off, I want to say to all of you, congratulations to you Tea Party members. The reason why we are having the discussions we are having today and the debates we are having at the state level and at the national level is because of you folks. You have brought the issues forward that are the most important to our party and to our future, so I congratulate you all on your steadfast commitment to your issues. The reason why I'm running for Congress. Not long ago, I sat across the table from a gentleman who was having his property stripped away from him by a group of regulators. I had the ability and the policy knowledge to step in and stop that from happening. This man worked 3 jobs to buy this piece of property that was his retirement for his family and his college fund for his kids. And these regulators were overreaching in their authority and taking what was rightfully his. By the time I was finished, he was able to use 99% of his property and do what he was rightfully and legally allowed to do. I knew that moment I could make a difference, and we need to stop overregulation such as this, not only in this state, but in this country. My name is Kim Van, and I'm your next congressman.
Hi, how's it going? I'm kind of tall, so I said I didn't want to make a whole bunch of noise. My name is Tim Core, and I'm running for Congress, much as everybody else here. And I'd like to start by thanking the Tea Party for having us here tonight. It's the first debate of what I'm sure will be many, and the turnout here is absolutely amazing. We've done a couple of these events so far, and I've got to meet a couple of the people on stage before, and I can honestly say that I know I'm in good company up here, as well as when I was walking around amongst you. Now, the reason why I'm running is I'm sure everyone has heard the, if you don't vote, you can't complain. Well, I've always voted. I've never missed one. Ever since I was old enough to vote. Even before that, when it was, student body type stuff. And I always figured at one point, my list of grievances would get shorter. Never does. Always gets longer. So I figured the only way that I could reconcile it with myself is to get into it and try and make a difference. Thank you.
My name is Tony Carlos. I'm a prosecutor at the Sutter County District Attorney's Office, and I'm born and raised here in Marysville, Yuba City. In fact, I grew up right over there on East 19th Street, not too far from here. I'm running for Congress because it's time, I believe it's time for regular people, average, everyday people to participate in the political process, whether it's through coming to events like this or running themselves. I think there's most of us up here, some of us have run before, and some of us haven't, but I think it's important that average people get out and run for office. And I think being here, it's kind of preaching to the choir. It's a Tea Party event. We know what it is we need as a nation. We know we need less federal government, less federal encroachment on our liberties in our everyday lives. We need more individual liberty, and we need free market principles to be allowed so that the private sector can be allowed to flourish and production can increase. And that's why I'm here. Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Rick Tubbs and I am running to be your congressman. And thank you so much, Yuba Sutter Tea Party, for putting this on. It's a great event. I'm looking forward to answering your questions tonight. Now, I noticed they put me on the far right, which is just fine by me. But let me tell you why I'm running for Congress. I have lived the American dream. I have microphones grouping here, so I think I get 10 extra seconds. Anyways, I have lived the American dream. I was a kid that grew up on welfare, one stop sign town back in Wisconsin. Earned a military scholarship to go to college. Became a pilot in the United States Air Force. And then lived that dream for several years before my wife and I started a small business. And now I fly for a major airline and fly for the Air Force right out of Vacaville. I fly out of San Francisco. I've got 3 kids, 3 wonderful kids back there, and I'm running for Congress with a great hope to be your congressman. That to me is the American dream. And I was able to live that because of our United States Constitution that set the foundation for protecting our rights and giving us the freedoms that make this country the best country this earth has ever seen. And the reason I'm running is to fight to make sure that great American dream is still there for our kids for the future. Thank you.
Get started with questions. First question.
Kevin, question.
Yes, sir.
You're not going to ask about any ex-wives, are you?
Strictly issues. Remember, three core principles of the
Are you going to start with me every time, or are you going to mix it?
It's going to rotate quite a bit. So hope you guys can bear with me. We're going to start with Miss Van.
I have no ex-wives in the audience.
With the U.S. over $15 trillion in debt, borrowing about 40 cents of every dollar we spend, what do you think we should do regarding farm subsidies that account for billions of dollars every year in the federal budget?
Well, actually, we're over $16 trillion in debt, and it's over 43 cents for every dollar that we are financing to get that wonderful debt up every single day. We have to cut everything back. The new farm bill that they're proposing does not have the same type of price supports that farmers look legally allowed to receive today, and it does not have them. Price supports were put into place to make sure we had a safe, reliable domestic food supply. Food is just as important as oil, water, and natural gas. We need not be dependent on foreign countries for our food, for our water. We need to be resourceful with our natural gas and our oil so that we can be an energy, food, and water-rich country.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Tubbs, What major steps do you personally think we should do to help get our debt under control as far as what Congress can do?
Okay, say the world in a minute and a half. We have to balance our budget. That has got to be the number one priority of those 535 individuals that are in Congress right now for the future. We can do that. It is possible. I am in charge of a nearly $20 million budget right now for the military. We set priorities, we draw a line, we stretch our bucks as far as we can make them go, and we balance it every year that I've been in command, and the other commanders do as well. It is possible, but it takes the fortitude to make the tough decisions, to be the leader on these issues, to take the risks, to say what needs to be cut, what needs to be made more efficient, what needs to be improved. You got to have leadership that's willing to take those risks, make that stand, and articulate the defense for it. We have to balance this budget. Under a plan I have, it can be done in 5 years under reasonable cuts, reasonable growth that is going to cost all of us something. It is going to be a national movement. You're going to wear a badge of honor of what you gave up to ensure the future for our children and grandchildren under the proposal I'm going to give as your congressman. So you've heard of the Paul Ryan budget, good start. There will be a Rick Tubbs budget that balances the federal budget in the future and saves the American dream, back to my key idea tonight. So thank you.
Mr. Core, how do you think Congress can best help to get the economy back on track?
Well, the first thing that they need to do, I think, is take a pay cut. As a way to show everyone that they're in it too. Congress has moved from what it was originally designed to be. And now we have a lot of people there who think that they're there to rule the people and not to serve the people, and they need to be reminded of that. There are Congress people in office right now that say that their $174,000 a year salary and their ancillary benefit package that goes with that is not enough, and they're living paycheck to paycheck. As someone who lives paycheck to paycheck, I can tell you that's insulting. It's really annoying. So everyone in Congress needs to lead by example. And one of the things that they can do is tell all the government agencies out there, hey, guess what? No more advertising budget. I was driving up from Fresno on the 99, and the Federal Department of Transportation had a billboard 10 miles away from any town. Why? How much do they spend on that billboard? How many billboards are like that? Why are we financing advertising? Everyone knows there's a Federal Department of Transportation, and they don't do much to help the states. All they do is make life worse. Right now, the Federal Department of Transportation wants to make it so that anyone under the age of 18 is not even allowed to touch farm equipment, whether it's motorized or not. They need to stop overreaching, and we need to go after all of the agencies to make sure that they pare down everything, and I'm out of time. Sorry.